So we grew up watching fairy tales, romantic comedies, and love song, you know, and also we grew up believing that when we fall in love, all logic should disappear. That love is enough, that love conquers all. So in this video, I am going to tell you why you should not marry because you love someone. Because if you married someone because you love them, you may be destroying your future. Yes, you hear me. So grab your tea, grab your popcorn. Let's dive into this topic. So, you see, reality is far more complicated than you think. Love is beautiful, yes. It's warm, it's exciting, even sometimes intoxicating. But if love is the only reason why you are marrying someone, why you're saying I do, then you are building a future based on feelings instead of a good foundation. Feelings can fade away. Yes. The truth is, love is just one piece of the puzzle. And not, when I tell you, that's just one piece of the puzzle and not the most important thing that you should look for when building a lifelong relationship with someone. Think, love doesn't pay your bills. Love doesn't raise children. Love doesn't handle conflict well. If it is the only thing that is holding you and your partner together. Love doesn't automatically mean compatibility, shares value or vision. In fact, many people marry someone they are in love with only to discover later that they are completely incompatible. They are mismatched. They have different goals, different beliefs, different habits, and even different financial discipline. And yet, society kept telling us that if the butterflies are strong, if your feelings are strong, the relationship will work out. No, it will not. Because love alone cannot make a relationship work. So, this video is to spill out the bitter truth. Because, yes, I call it the bitter truth about marrying someone just based on love. In fact, it is the opposite. I am here to help open your eyes so you can see clearly, so you can build your relationship not just based on love, because love is just an emotion. Let's talk about marriage. Really? If marriage needs to succeed, love should not be the only thing that should be holding you two together in that marriage. In fact, marrying someone just because of love might be the very thing that is holding a lot of people back in their relationship. It is holding a lot of people from experiencing real happiness, because the truth is that love alone is not enough. Love alone is not enough. Love is a feeling, not a strategy. Love feels magical. It keeps you goosebumps. It keeps you up all night. It makes you smile at your phone like fools. But here are the things that love doesn't do. Love doesn't bring food on your table. Love is just a mere feeling. Love is just a feeling. So let me ask you this question. Have you ever been madly in love with someone only to find out 3 months later you could barely stand them? That's not because you were wrong to fall in love. It's because love, as most people experience it, is emotional chemistry, not long-term compatibility. And if you should make one important decision, is to make sure that when you are married in someone, you are compatible. There is compatibility, because that is a lifelong decision, and you should not just take that decision based on love. Because if you do, you are gambling everything. You are gambling your joy, your peace, your future, even your destiny. And these are very important things that we should not gamble with, isn't it? Love cannot manage our finances. Love cannot handle disagreements. Love cannot raise children or build legacy. And yet a lot of people enter in marriage hoping that their love will be enough to make everything work properly or to make everything go smooth. So guys, when you want to marry, you have to look for compatibility, because real marriage requires strategy. You have to marry someone that both of you have mutual respect, both of you can communicate well, you have emotional intelligence, and there is a willingness in the part of both of you to sacrifice for each other. But if you married for love alone, and maybe your partner cannot manage finances well, or your partner doesn't have emotional maturity, they are so immature emotionally, or you and your partner don't have the same vision, then you will suffer in the marriage. You will definitely suffer. And you will become so exhausted in that marriage. So love isn't bad, but love without strategy, without wisdom, without maturity is something that can break the other partner. So this is the biggest lies about love, that if both of you love each other, that means both of you are compatible. No, both of you can love each other, but you have different values, different, like everything about you are different. Compatibility is not about liking the same music or finishing each other's sentence. No. Real compatibility is about core values, lifestyle alignments, conflict resolution, styles, family beliefs, money habits, and future goals. So when couples ignore all of this and they go for just the chemistry, they end up in marriages where love exists, but peace does not exist. Where passion exists, but purpose does not exist. Where affection exists, but understanding does not exist. And that's a sad reality, guys. Love can bring you together, but incompatibility can tear you apart. It's only compatibility that will hold the relationship together. And it doesn't always quickly happens like that. So compatibility most times doesn't come quickly. Sometimes it will come after years of marriage, after you've got children, and sometimes it will never come. It will never come. And during those years that you guys are trying to work on your relationship, on seeing how you guys can at least you have one or both of you have gone through a lot of stress. So love alone cannot keep a relationship. And many people, especially women, they tend to stay far too long in a relationship that drain them. A relationship that's just simply built on love, where there's no compatibility. Simply because they believe that love is enough to fix whatever is breaking them apart. But love isn't a glue. Love isn't strong enough to hold the broken pieces that were never designed to fit in the first place. They were not. So if you are thinking about marriage, or you are already in one, it's time to ask these deeper questions. Now, do I love them? That one, most of the time, is yes. Do we want the same kind of life? Can we solve problems together? Do we fight fear? Do we respect each other's boundaries? Do we communicate? Do we respect each other's dreams? Because compatibility isn't luxury. It's a necessity in marriage or any relationship. And without it, even the strongest love will eventually feel like a prison. So, as I'm saying, nobody wants to talk about this topic. But all what we want, marrying for love. You have to love someone before you marry them. They don't want to talk about compatibility. You hardly. That is why a lot of marriages are broken. Relationships are broken. When people say love is all I need, they forgot one thing. Life is expensive. And if you're not financially aligned with your partner, that's in love feeling will quickly turn to resentment. That in love feeling, I'm in love, will quickly turn to resentment. Let's be honest. Bills don't care how in love you are. Rent needs to be paid. Children needs to eat. Emergencies will happen. One of you will get sick. One of you may lose your job. And love won't solve any of it. Love won't solve any of it if you are not prepared. So many people walk in marriages with hearts full but empty wallets, and worse, no financial plan. They never discuss budget, savings, investment, or even spending habits. Why? Because love blinds them to the need for structure. They are just blinded by love. But love doesn't fix poor financial habits or decisions. In fact, one of the top reasons marriages end in divorce is financial stress, not infidelity, especially this part of the world. Not cheating. Money is the one major cause for divorce. And yet, when people choose partner, they rarely ask the tough financial question. They don't. What's your relationship with money? Do you believe in savings or spending? These are questions you should ask before you get married. Are you in debt? Yes, you want to make sure. Do you have a good credit? Do you have a vision for building wealth? These are questions that you should ask, but instead, people just focus on the feelings, the emotions, love, the butterflies. Whether they are romantic, whether they make them feel alive, those things are nice. Yes, they are nice, but they don't pay bills. They don't pay for diapers. They don't pay school fees. If you want a marriage that will last, you need to marry someone who can build with you. Someone who is disciplined, someone who has vision, someone who has goals that align with yours. Romance is beautiful, but financial ruin is ugly. And far too many people are learning that the hard way. Don't fall for that trap. I know somebody that at the time that me and her were communicating, she lost job because of the husband she has. When you don't work, so her credit gone bad, everything like gone bad because the husband that she has. This husband of her doesn't really care about her. He's so selfish. It will make sure it takes job that will jeopardize the wife's work. So the wife end up staying and taking care of the kids. So at the end of the day, the wife is not making money, and now she's literally depending on him because now she's not making money. The credit is bad because she was not working enough to pay all of the debts and bills. So that's just one of so many examples. I've spoken with a lot of women. Even me myself, I experienced similar, thing like that. So that's the thing. You have to discuss finance. It's very, very important. Don't shy away from it. Some women are like, I don't want to talk about finance. Let them don't think I am here for the money. I am materialistic. That's the thing. You have to talk about the real deals. Those feelings, about you. They don't think that you like money. Who don't like money? So you have to discuss those things, okay? So when love become emotional manipulation. Yes, love can become emotional manipulation. So here is something we don't talk about enough. Not every I love you comes from a pure place. Sometimes people use the word love not to uplift, but to control. Yes, even in marriage. So that's why you don't just fall for I love you, or you don't just concentrate on love, because people can be using it to manipulate and control you. So many women, some men too, stayed in painful toxic relationship that's emotionally draining them, damaging them, just because the other partner told them that they love them. So you have to make sure these are all things that you have to learn. These are all things that you have to remember. You don't just go into marriage just because someone say they love you. Because most time, a manipulative person can use that to weaponize, can use the love that you have against you. And most of the time, when it gets bad and you want to leave, they will be, you're ungrateful, I love you, I can't live without you, all those words. So just be careful, guys. So that's why you don't just marry based on love. And because we've been conditioned to see love as the highest goal in life, yes, we believe when people say they love us, we click to the love, hoping things will be okay because they say they love us. But here's the truth. Real love doesn't demand your silence. You have to talk. Real love doesn't mean you have to suffer or you have to sacrifice yourself just to keep a peace or just to keep the relationship. So sometimes they will guilt trip you. That's why you don't just marry for love. They will guilt trip you, you know. They will gaslight you. They will just do everything, especially if you are dealing with a manipulator. So the myth of love. Oh God. Love and soulmates. There's a myth. Oh, he loves you, your soulmate. From movies, the novels, we all hear the fantasy. Somebody one, a soulmate destined to complete us, you know. So the chemistry will be instant, and because that's what we are taught. So the sooner you met somebody that you have that butterflies, that love feeling for, you know, all common sense is gone. All logic is gone. So, but that myth is ruining marriages, it's ruining individuals, it's ruining relationships. And most of the time, when these marriages and individuals or relationship are ruined, the children that comes from this relationship are the ones that suffers the most. So please, guys, don't just marry it because you love someone. Rather, marry it because of compatibility, okay? We know there is no perfect person. Yes. But even if, you know, we know there's no, but make, so we know that there's no, but even those that will fit you well will still have flaws, you know, but still make sure you check for compatibility when you are getting married. It's a very important instrument in a relationship. So the belief about soulmates makes love to be passive. So people now does not believe that love is something that you work on intentionally. They just believe that it will just happen like that, like magic. So that's why they don't normally work on their behavior or work on the relationship. You know, they just think that, you know, they don't need to do any work, but it will just get better by itself. So that's another thing. So that's why you have to know these things before you decide to get married. You have to know these things before you decide to say, okay, I do to anybody.